Welcome guys, today I'm going to be talking about the latest PUBG patch that will be hitting in just a few days. I'm going to be doing this a little bit differently because I'm not going to go into the super tiny details about every single change here and the percentages and all that kind of stuff. Instead, I'll give you my opinion and my perspective on these changes. Are they good? Are they bad? How will they affect the game and so on? So first of all, the new tactical gear that's coming to the game is the Tactical Pack. This is an item that's already caused a lot of debate and a lot of drama in the community because, to be fair, yeah, it is OP. What it does is that you're able to put up to 4 items inside a bag that takes up a weapon slot. So essentially, you take a new bag, put that in a weapon slot, and then that bag can hold up to 4 items. The twist here is that it can also hold weapons. Weapons that can hold attachments. So you can put a fully attached M416 inside the bag, and then that weapon at the same time can be fully reloaded. And that's really the problem. A fully reloaded, fully attached weapon in each weapon slot will allow you to carry 5 weapons, essentially 6 if you count the pistol, or 7 if you count your melee weapon, but 4 weapons inside a bag that you can simply just drag over to your weapon slot, and then you can fire it immediately. That will allow you to do some pretty crazy things, such as having 5 M249s that you can simply keep on shooting with almost no downtime between magazines, because you can just drag in a new one to your weapon slot. Obviously, this is not ideal. And also, you can have extra helmets, extra armor, extra backpack. As an example, you could also take 5 jammer packs with you into the final circle and then survive the blue zone for an extra 500 damage before you had to heal. Obviously, these examples highlight some problems. What is pretty cool though is that you can put in a mountain bike, EMT kit, or drone. So it's a way to have both an EMT kit and a drone with only sacrificing 1 weapon slot, and I kind of like that. It is a support item, and looking at this item, my opinion is that this is indeed too strong. This is not good for the game because it's one of those items that you kind of need to have. By not having this, you will essentially be at a disadvantage. And the reason that is bad is because the loot is random, so you don't want to have too many items that you need to have in order to be competitive. Let's say you don't find this item, an enemy has it, you got unlucky, he didn't, he wins. That doesn't feel that good, and that almost feels a little bit unfair, even though that is the name of the game with the loot being random. And that's why they need to balance this. The way they need to do this, I think, it would be by making sure that weapons are not reloaded when you pull them out of the bag. And also, I think they need to consider if all attachments should be available on the gun as you remove it from the bag as well. That does almost seem a little bit too strong to me, but perhaps they could find a balance. Like, for instance, only sights and scopes stay on the gun and everything else gets removed when they put it into the gun. But the most important thing is that you cannot just stack weapons in there and just never have to reload. Next up is the spotter scope, another new tactical gear. Not at all as drama-filled as the tactical pack, because this one is more balanced. What you can do with this is that you can spot enemies, but with this thing here, you need to expose yourself, but you will also get a much better spot. You can spot enemies, they will get a marker above them that will follow them for a brief moment, even through objects. That is, of course, very strong and will give your team extremely good information to work with. The downside is that, again, it takes up a weapon slot, you cannot hold a gun while doing this, and you have to expose yourself, and that's really the key here. With the drone, you can be prone in a safe location without ever being spotted, and you can fly the drone around all completely hidden. No one will notice you're there probably. Then you can mark them with your 3D marker easily for your team, and you can keep spamming that and give new updated information on the enemy's position. This thing requires you to expose yourself, and then it will spot the enemies for your team, right? So there is a balance here. It's stronger, but also has more risk. So that's kind of cool, I think. The thing, however, is perhaps enemies are spotted for a little bit too long through cover. It is 7 seconds, which might be a little bit too long. Perhaps they need to lower that to 4 or something like that, because 7 seconds is quite a lot to be able to track people through objects. It's essentially a 7-second wall hack, if you will. And another cool thing that this item will do is that it will, with this 4x magnification as well, tell you the distance to whatever you're aiming at, up to 1 kilometer, which is the max distance that you can shoot an enemy in PUBG anyway. So perhaps this item will be the reason that more people now, perhaps even including me, will start using weapon zeroing. Because essentially, if you see a target that is measured to be 700 meters away, you can zero your weapon to 700 meters, and then you will just need to aim at your target, and you will not need to aim higher than your target. So that's kind of cool. And the same thing goes when you use the mortar. You can make precise distance measurements with this that can help you land the perfect mortar strike. Although the mortar will still be the most useless item in PUBG. The lights on the tactical drone are being changed too. Green light if it is a friendly drone, and red if it is an enemy drone. And now for a very cool aim and sound training feature in the game. The training map is getting a lot of changes here, but the most important one is the new trainer. This one is strangely hidden inside the helipad, and I don't know what's up with that. You have to enter the helipad. Anyway, once you're inside the helipad, you can test your aim and sound skills by using the new trainer. This is a very cool feature. With the aim training feature, you can now practice your aim on targets that are popping up right in front of you within a specific time, and then you get a score. This is a great way to measure your aim and also perhaps to warm up, because you'll learn how many targets you're hitting and what your score will be if you are indeed warmed up. And then as a warm up, you'll be able to do this until you reach around that score, because then you'll know you warmed up. That's kind of cool. And also the sound training feature will be helpful to a lot of players. Enemies will be placed 360 degrees around you, and then it will shoot at random. What you have to do is that you quickly have to swap to the target that's shooting at you and then shoot that target. That's going to be a great way to practice your quick target acquisition based on sound. The map rotation in random map is also being changed. Now we're getting Haven instead of Sanhok. That means Sanhok will leave the available maps to play. I'm not a fan of Sanhok, although sure, it has given me many great games. I just don't think the map is fun. And that's why I'm happy to see that Haven will now enter instead of Sanhok. We will see how much fun Haven will be now, because I do have a concern about this line in the patch notes. Bots acting like actual enemy players have been added to Haven. That means not only do you have the pillar tactical group of bots that are guarding the great loot in certain buildings, but now you will also have bots running around and acting like players. That means they're basically just adding bots to the map. Happy to see Haven, but not so happy to see this. What I am, however, happy to see is that they are increasing the item spawn rates on both Erangel and Miramar. Miramar being the map in the game where I dislike the loot the most. It can take ages to loot up on this map to a level where you feel like you're ready to fight. And that's just a shame, because I do enjoy the map. I like driving around, I like traveling around on the map, finding fights, and getting involved in fun PUBG moments. Now I can do that faster, because they're increasing it quite a lot. Sniper rifles on Erangel, 150%. That's a lot. Scopes, 75%. Assault rifles and DMR, 62%. Just like Miramar here, we got assault rifles, 105%. DMRs, 123%. Sniper rifles, 317%. Like, that's a lot. So they're making it much easier to find weapons. We'll see how this is balanced with the heal items. I'm not sure about that. Heal items, also a requirement, something you need to find. They are actually decreasing heal items on Erangel, and I am concerned about this, because it can be very difficult to find healing somewhere on Erangel, especially around Milta, small Milta power plant and stuff. We will have to wait and see, but I would like to see some heal increases here as well. The Survivor Pass is also being released finally. It's been a long time coming. The items in the Survivor Pass called Punk Wave, I'm not a big fan of these. I think a lot of them are a little bit boring. However, this Survivor Pass is still insanely good value. You get a lot of stuff here for what is probably going to end up being around $8 to $10. So let me just quickly go through these. In the Survivor Pass, you got a punk theme going on. And these items are not really my style. I'm going to show you the items that I do enjoy in the Survivor Pass as I'm quickly skipping through this. First of all, I think these boots might be pretty cool in some situations. This gun is not really my style, this G36C, but I think perhaps a lot of people could like this because it's colorful. A lot of people like colorful items. Then we have the new Mosin skin. The Mosin skin is interesting, not particularly liking this so much, but it's interesting because there's not a lot of Mosin skins in the game. So a lot of people won't have one. Yeah, so that's going to be the first Mosin skin for some people, at least. This helmet here is cool. I like this level 3 helmet. I will probably be using this. And then you have these gloves, the skeleton gloves. A little bit hard to see in the model here, but they do look pretty cool as well. This mini skin, which is what you get at level 49, which is also the final weapon skin in the pass, I think it's kind of boring. Not my style. I think they could have done a lot better here. And then, of course, you got some extra items too. You get the G-Coin, the contraband coupons in the end, an extra G-Coin, and some emblem stuff. So there's a lot of uninteresting things there, but overall, for the price that this will have, you get a lot of skins. This is still great value, and I honestly recommend everybody to always buy the season passes in this game. Then you have the missions, and the missions in the season pass will also add some flavor to your games. This is something to track, this is something to do, something extra, and you also get some extra items in here, such as this shirt, which is pretty decent, and some black pants, which can be pretty cool to add in with other outfits too. So yeah, and the G-Coin is, I mean, it's not too bad. I definitely recommend buying this. Finally, in the patch notes, we have some standard updates to the UI, some performance improvements, and bug fixes. And of course, the most important bug fix is this one. Fix the missing partner logo issue when equipping Wacky Jacky 101's VSS. Of course, this is the most important thing. The logo on my VSS was blocked by the candid sight mount on the gun. Now that's fixed, which is great. Overall, this patch seems very cool to me. You got the new tactical gear. That's going to need a few tweaks, especially the tactical pack is going to need a few tweaks. But then you got the improvements to the training map. You got Haven coming back in the map rotation. You got the new season pass, and then you have all the loot increases to Rankle and Miramar. This overall is a nice package, and one that will make the game more interesting to play, at least for a period. So this will give us plenty of things to do until the next patch. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.